What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Multiverse Monologues, the podcast show where we like to travel across the multiverses and fandoms that we love to talk about the movies and television shows that accompany those universes. Welcome back to the Star Wars movie marathon.
Let's
we
go.
are talking about the Phantom... Oh,
Peak.
hold on. Wait a minute. Before we get to the prequels, in the sense of completionist, we have to review a few other films before we get there. I mean, and these are two films that may have gone under the radar. If you don't know or are well versed in Star Wars lore, you may have forgotten that there were two other films, Star Wars films, released in between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and we are here to talk about the first one, titled Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure, alternatively titled The Ewok Adventure. I am your co-host, Ben Rayside, who is very excited to talk about The Ewok Adventure. Let me tell you, because I have never seen this movie before, but another thing I'm very also excited about is to talk about it with our esteemed panel of guests here on the Star Wars movie marathon, the gentlemen who help make this show possible. First off, we have Mr. Ethan Wensloff. Ethan, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm honored to be an esteemed member of this panel, but I have one thing to say to you, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. Step aside, because there's a cooler Mace in the galaxy. That's right, Mace Tawani has entered the scene.
Oh,
He has stepped into the Ewok adventure, and I do have a few gripes to pick with that title. Ewok, yes, there is a lot of walking, so that's appropriate. But adventure, I don't know. I looked up the definition of adventure, and it says an unusual and exciting experience.
I'd say there were some unusual
I like that
things.
first word.
But was exciting something? No. I think Ewok Schlog would fit better, or Ewok Trek, Ewok Quest, or Ewok Slumber Party, because every other scene, the sun sets and our characters are taking a nap. So I think Ewok Slumber Party is a little more appropriate for this caravan of garbage.
Or would you say, nice, or would you say that they were going to a commercial break? Because most famously, this was released in the U.S. as a TV movie.
I did want to bring that up. Is this the first thing we've watched in our marathon format with commercial breaks? I think it
I
is.
think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the holiday special, but
Mostly, that is true. That is true, but I don't remember there being commercial breaks. It was just like segments. You know, it's more segmented. This, I feel like you feel the commercial breaks, you know? And so it's kind of like,
But
I'm not sure I'm feeling this.
At least you feel it, because with the Star Wars holiday special, there are no feelings with that. The feelings are, oh boy.
It's certainly negative feelings.
I still have yet to see it.
Yeah, well, a guy that I always have positive feelings toward, is Mr. Micah Head. Micah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I have gained a knowledge of the Ewok dictionary, if you will, and I just want to say a few words, okay?
In Ewok.
In Ewokese,
Okay,
as
all
the
right.
subtitles say. Feech Lurdo, Teati, Kush, Rodachak. I said, dang loser, come who what eat? Yes.
Thank you for educating us.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Ewokese, I guess, is what it's called.
That would be a Yubnub. Hooray.
Yubnub.
That's the famous one.
Yubnub.
Acha means all right. And Gunda is yummy. So
Gunda?
we are in for a good or yummy Gunda podcast.
Oh. I would say that is definitely true for the podcast sake. I know I was.
Let's say yahad to this dictionary because I'm done with this. That means goodbye.
I know there was an IMDb trivia section translating the various word that they say.
There were like 20 things in the trivia, so I just read all the trivia.
Yeah, right.
20 trivia facts total for this whole movie. I don't know if I've seen very many movies with that few trivia.
Well, I mean, and we're definitely going to get into it, but it's not technically a movie. It's more of a TV special.
It's
But we're gonna
barely
get into
long
it.
enough
Yeah.
to consider itself a movie.
Honestly, yes. But before we get into the nitty gritty of Caravan of Courage, the Ewok adventure. Let's hit the hyperdrive first. But we got to hit the hyperdrive, gentlemen, and head over to the Star Wars universe.
That's Mommy and Daddy.
Sometimes when you search for the impossible, an unbelievable adventure unfolds.
I wish we had furry creatures like you where I came from.
Don't miss the Ewok Adventure, now on video cassette from MGM UA Home Video.
Wicket the Ewok and his friends agreed to help two shipwrecked human children, Mace and Cindel, on a quest to find their parents. That right there, folks, is your summary of Caravan of Courage.
Short and sweet.
And Ewok Adventure. That's right. Just like this movie, am I right, guys?
Was it sweet?
Guys, am I right, guys?
Sure.
It was just an hour and 30 minutes, guys.
Hour 36, and every minute felt. Wait a minute. Am I seeing it won an Emmy? Hold on. This is news to me.
Hold on,
Outstanding Children's Program went to George Lucas and Thomas G. Smith.
Time Emmy.
That's amazing.
And it won.
I knew that.
It was nominated for the Outstanding Children's, and it won Outstanding Special Visual Effects. I gotta say, that's one of my compliments of this movie, though.
Well,
The visual effects aren't bad
for a TV special in
for
the,
a TV
in the
special
80s?
in the 80s.
True.
Sure.
Yeah.
true. This one came out in 1984. This was released 1 year after the epic conclusion, Return of the Jedi, and I was like, I don't even remember hearing about this. I was vaguely aware of it when I really grew
When
in
you
my
were
Star
around
Wars.
in 84.
Yeah,
Well,
when it released.
Like when I was growing up, I was like, oh yeah, they made that. So I asked my father-in-law, did you watch these movies? Because he was a huge Star Wars fan, original trilogy especially. Did you watch these movies when you were younger? He's like, oh yeah, you had to. This was on TV, and it was on cable TV. So you were there no matter what. This was an event. You don't just go get to pop it in like we do now. Or, I mean, not even. We just go on a Disney
You
Plus.
saw it in the newspaper. You're like, oh boy.
They're releasing a
the
new
TV
Star Wars.
guide.
That was what he said. This is a new Star Wars film. So we're watching it no matter what.
Yeah. Because it happened all the time. A sci-fi series would have this huge like theatrical release, and then there would be some spin-off movies that would be on TV or the extended universe was huge at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Like taken off to the moon, all the way out to the moon of Endor. Crazy huge. Like this was insane.
And he said he enjoyed them. Both of them. He back to back.
Wow.
We got to watch it from a kid's perspective, and you also got to watch
Yes.
it from a TV perspective, and then from the perspective that, at least me and you, Ben, we've seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, and this is better than that. This is a cohesive story, whether that's good or bad. It tells a story. You can follow it, and there are characters doing funny things occasionally.
You
Although,
mean it knew what it was trying to do and it executed it perfectly?
Well, I wouldn't
Well-
say executed it perfectly.
That last part.
But it starts off, and I reference Lost in one way and every week. It's got a very Lost, vibe
It
to it.
sure is in the woods.
Thing ship crashes on mysterious
Okay.
planet.
All right.
There's a mysterious creature.
I'll give it to you.
haunting the island or the planet. There you go. I love that premise. Let the story unravel, and we meet Mace, who I gotta say gave me a few chuckles in this special.
You did that much. That's for
he's
sure.
he's a buffoon for
Well,
sure.
so my father-in-law liked it, but did you like this, Ethan? Because I mean, come on. I mean, this is your first time and probably only time ever
All right,
watching
I wanna
this,
ask-
but like,
Have you heard of this before the
Great,
podcast?
good question.
I
yeah.
I had heard of this before the podcast, and I never watched it, but I knew a family growing up who they owned every Star Wars movie, and they owned these two movies too. So I always remember looking on their shelf of their collection and going, wow, it's so complete. It has these movies I'll never watch. And here I am watching it today for this. To set the stage, no, I did not like this, Ben. But, I watched 10 minutes of this, and then I was sitting there. I really didn't want to finish it. I didn't want to finish it. And the Super Bowl had come on, and we were doing a little Super Bowl party at the church. So I left to go do that. Then the Super Bowl decided to go into overtime.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I had to clean up, leave. And it was about midnight when I had to watch the rest of this.
Ouch.
And I kid you not, I have never been more frustrated watching anything for this podcast.
Even more than Daredevil?
Even more. Well, I'm not. I just, the state of mind I was in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the
Yep.
way that I just didn't want to consume this media.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad I talked you guys down because we're going to do both of these in 1 week. And yes, next week isn't going to be fun either when we have to watch the next one.
But at least it's split up.
I did not want to watch both this week, and I'm really glad to have that solidified here because, yeah, I didn't like it. And I'm really,
Yeah.
even good kids television, good kids movies, there's an element to where you can enjoy it as an adult. But that is absent from this fully.
Would you say in your state of mind at that point, the holiday special would have been a better watch given your state of mind?
Oh, heck no. No. I would never rewatch a holiday special.
Because I will say this, in my opinion, this is more boring than the holiday special. I don't know if I'd say it's worse than the holiday special. Few things are in this world. But I would say that this is definitely, because the holiday special, you are taken to a place in your mind where you are disgusted. You are, what is going on here?
Maybe I should
In
watch
the
that
holiday
before
special?
next week, and then we can have the trilogy of TV specials.
I think you need
Ready
to.
to go.
You've never seen it, correct?
I've never seen it.
Well, you need. I think you do need to for completionist's sake.
At least dabble in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't-
I'll
have to.
watch
It's
it.
long.
I'll
You
watch
don't
it
have
this
to
week.
watch the whole thing.
It's only an hour, right?
It's 2 hours.
It's 2 hours?
It's longer than this.
So,
Jeez.
Ben, I disagree. I prefer this over the holiday special.
I do too. I agree,
Yeah.
but not by much.
This
By about 25 minutes more? Like, is that how?
It's
no, like
I like you, Ethan, had a terrible time watching.
Mm.
It was I actively because
Ouch.
you start to feel like this is such a waste of your time.
with
Like,
what precious time we have on this earth, I'm spending, an hour 30 of it watching Ewok Adventure, Caravan of Courage, and I did that on accident that time. You just don't want to
Yeah.
do that. And
No.
not only that, but we're podcasting on it too. This is another hour on top of that. The
Well,
commitment to it.
See, this part I enjoy because now this is fun. Now we can
Oh, this is so fun.
crap on it, hopefully. But I gotta find out what Micah thought of that. Micah, what did you think? Of
All
this
right.
movie?
So, growing up, I had known about at least one of these movies. I don't know which one, but we definitely rented one from the library for some amount of time. It was on VHS, and I definitely watched one of these. Maybe even both. I don't know. But I don't know if I've seen the whole thing before. I think I only watched like the first half hour because I distinctly remember the little medicine arc where they have to go and get the sap from the tree and then pour the leaf juice into the mouth of the little girl, and then that heals her, and she's like, I remember that girl was so annoying.
Where's mommy?
Where's mommy? I'm
He
so,
go-
I'm so sick.
He's like, we gotta get the Ewoks bring them to the hut, and
Yeah.
Mace is like, hey, we need medicine, you stupid little creature, give us more medicine. And they go get more medicine.
The Ewoks do nothing
and-
but show hospitality towards these guys, and Mace is just dogging on him.
Dude,
Hey, you little rat! You give me more medicine. You
He's
give
the
me
worst.
food. Food like hum num num num. Food,
The
dummy.
What's her name? Cindel.
Cindel, yeah.
Cindel. Right when he gives her the sap, they call it the special fluid, I believe. Right when they give her the special fluid from the tree, she is immediately, in full kid mode. I feel better already.
All right, Betty.
That's
We could have thrown a Band-Aid on you.
It's
and you
nice
would've
to know
been fine.
that kids in space are still kids.
Yeah.
They got that
well,
hyperbolic
true.
exaggeration and their headbands. Fun fact, though, Ben will get a kick out of this. You know who plays Cindel, the actress?
The little girl.
Yeah.
Who?
She is, I don't know if I wrote her name down. Maybe Micah can get it for me. But
Her name
she was
is-
in the Hunger Games movie,
No way.
but she most famously
Aubree Miller?
plays Daniel Faraday's mom in Lost.
Oh,
There's another Lost actor in here as well.
she has been in 3 things.
No way.
Are you sure you're talking about her? Or you're talking about the mom.
No, I'm talking about her.
No.
All
You're
the
talking
mom.
about
This is the
Fianola.
mom.
I'm talking about the
Fianola
mom,
Flanagan.
guys. You know
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
She
I'm
is,
wrong.
She has been in a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, here
like
she is.
especially The Others. The Others is fantastic, which I just watched, and she's in the Hunger Games.
Whatever. I didn't look too long at that.
Huh.
I'm like, oh, the name starts with C. She was the same character. Nope.
Katarine,
I whiffed
she's
that.
different.
Yeah, you're right.
You
The
know,
mama.
honestly, that fits with the theme of this movie because I honestly do not remember a lot of
Eloise
this.
Hawking.
I do not
Oh, she
remember
was
a
in
lot
Yes
of this movie.
Man too. She's the dude. She's the grandma I think that he makes out with.
What?
Yeah, I
In,
think that was.
What are we talking about?
Are you
Yes,
sure
Man.
it's not in that movie
Are you
where she
talking
plays
about-
grandmother?
No, I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't want to
For those of
rewatch
you
Yes Man because Yes Man sucks.
Watching and listening, we're looking at Fianola Flanagan's her deep filmography.
She is in a lot
It
of
is
stuff.
super deep.
Yeah.
I like this movie. So
Crazy.
deep in
Oh,
fact-
anyway, so my thoughts on the movie this time. It was all right. I mean, I'm never gonna watch this again.
It-
I didn't like it. I didn't. But there were things
What?
about this movie that I wasn't hurt by. It
Hmm.
wasn't offensively bad to me.
Mm. So
For
you're
me,
like-
I feel like the strongest parts are the visual effects, which it won an Emmy for, and the score. And that's about it. But the score isn't like
Even
Crazy
like,
good.
The
It's
best
just like,
part
it
is
fits.
when they reuse John Williams' theme. Dun, 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 dun. Like that's
Yeah.
the best part of the score. Like
Yeah.
the rest is just generic 80s adventure
But
music.
the matte paintings were really good. They were
That's
pretty
true.
solid.
Yes, I
the
will say that.
puppetry was pretty solid. The stop motion was pretty like that boar wolf thingy
Yeah, the
in
boar
the woods.
wolf.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it
That and the spiders.
Yeah, I was surprised at how good the CG, not CG, but the visual
practical
effects were.
were
Yeah,
for a TV movie. They were better than I expected.
I mean, it
to
had a
be.
budget of what, $1 million?
But that's what, I mean, that's what you get with Lucasfilm, though. I mean, this is a
$3 million. So it was a big special. I mean,
I would find this one step down from like a Howard the Duck. Like this is Lucasfilm.
well, it had a
in
third
that
of the budget
era-
of Howard the Duck.
Well, okay, maybe 2 steps down then. Or it's just cool special effects.
Yeah.
Really good. Like they're innovating and pushing forward here. But I mean, as far as content and film goes, you want to gouge your eyes out while watching it. Like
I don't feel like this was a gouge your eyes out kind
Yeah.
of movie,
Dude,
though.
it
I
was.
feel like it
Wasn't
was
that bad.
37. Okay.
dude,
I didn't like
I
it. but-
actively found myself like wishing I was doing anything else than watching.
I
this
found it
movie.
was boring, but I feel
was
like it
so
was
boring.
It was visually entertaining. I don't not like it was cool to look at. Like it
Dude,
was for me personally.
yes.
I liked the sets. The scenery was amazing. It was all filmed on Skywalker Ranch.
Yes.
in the Sequoia Forest or whatever, and it was just beautiful. I mean, I loved the scenery. It wasn't in a soundstage somewhere with a bunch of just painted backdrops. They had these cool matte paintings that they put over an already beautiful forest. The puppets, everything was just done so well, except for the script and a bit of the acting. A lot of the acting I feel like is good enough for like B characters. If they had a couple A characters that were just knock out of the park, it would have been fine. But unfortunately, they spend most of the movie, as they should have, because it was an Ewok movie. They spend most of it with Ewok dialogue,
But like
and you don't get to understand what's going on.
I will say this: it's fun to watch this and see what has been learned since the holiday special. Because the holiday special
That's what we're about here.
is all
comparing.
Wookiees,
yes.
and George Lucas made the choice, or whoever was behind the decisions, made the choice in the holiday special not to include narration or subtitles for the Wookiees.
Mm.
So you have Wookiees just hooting and hollering, the whole movie,
It's bad.
and there's nothing. But this, you have humans for them to interact with, and you have an occasional narration. So I like at least understanding what is happening from that point. So point up for this over the holiday special.
Burl Ives is the narrator. He pops in from time to time to explain.
Whenever you're confused.
Was that the
whenever
snowman
you're
dude?
confused. The snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah.
Reindeer. Yes.
Okay,
he
that's what I
also
thought.
has sung many a
Look at
Christmas
that
story.
guy.
He is a jolly guy, a very jolly guy. And when I heard his voice, I was like, okay,
Did he sing that?
I like Burl Ives.
Yeah, he sang
He's not-
Rudolph, I think.
He's not bad. Silver and Gold is his most famous song.
Okay.
Just, I mean, think of the voice. It's Silver and Gold.
Look at this. This is one of his last movies he was ever in.
Because
Fifth from the end.
because he passed away, or because
I think he died in 95. So
Oh,
he
okay.
retired first.
okay,
Good.
Yeah.
Glad
Ooh,
no
big family.
This movie didn't kill him.
Big family.
Just-
One of 6 kids. Wow.
yeah,
Hey,
dude.
in Illinois, not far from here.
He was not a bad part of the movie. I'll say that. I like the narration, but even then, even with the narration, bro, you don't get any Ewok dialogue. So for a good chunk of this movie, you're just watching Ewoks
They kind of
talking back and forth, and it's so you want to kill yourself because it's
Whoa.
like,
Like, whoa.
I'm sitting here. and
You
I'm listening to-
wanted the little girl to not take the medicine.
and it going back and forth.
You know what's crazy though is they
I'll be the parent now.
you guys watched a movie this week about human to alien communication. And what that movie, I think Denis Villeneuve watched this movie and was like, all right, this is how we
did.
don't do cross
That's how we
species
don't do
communication
Arrival. Yeah.
because you need to have this disconnect first and then they have to learn each other's language. And he noticed that happens in this movie, but then he also sees that eventually the Ewoks just understand English, and every time Mace rats off on, oh, see this tooth, you need to have this tooth and you're going to be on our team now. The Ewoks are just like, uh-huh, and they're good. and like later he's like, we need some food, and then the Ewoks are like, uh-huh, and they understand.
They do a lot of good bits with Mace, and he's like, what is this? When they're all getting their relics in that hut.
You mean they're MacGuffins?
They're
Yeah.
relics.
They
And,
have the Lord of the Rings. What's her name? Galadriel scene.
Yeah.
and
To
he
you,
gets
I think you mean Lord of the Rings has a
Oh,
whatever you mean scene.
you're right. You're right.
but
I don't
they-
even think the animated ones
Yeah.
are out by this.
he gets a rock. Mace gets a rock. And I thought that was hilarious. There's also another bit where Mace perfectly chucks an axe at a tree. And you're like, wow, really impressive. And then I forget the Ewok's name, but the Ewok chucks an axe at the tree.
Chuk.
And Chukachuk. And he goes, after having
Can't believe
just
you don't
done
remember
the
that.
exact same thing. Mace just did this. But he goes, wow, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Dude, you just did it.
No, he threw it so perfectly that it stopped in that skinny little handle that would have split for sure. Like that it was amazing.
He threw it in the handle of the other axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. It
Oh,
was
you must have
dumb.
been sleeping.
It was dumb.
Ethan watched this at like 2 a.m. So
No, I
it was,
didn't. I was a little earlier
It
than
was a
that.
1
And,
a.m., right?
Also, I had a question about the skin glider that they use at the opening of the film. The Ewok is looking for his children,
Skin.
and he hops on a what would you call that? The skin glider?
yeah. the
Oh
skin
no,
glider.
yeah, no, you're
That's
right.
the skin
you're right.
glider.
Hops on a skin
Because it's
glider,
made out of leather.
and then he flies. He goes rescues his kids. Then I'm like, he just leaves the skin glider.
Well, he doesn't need it anymore.
So I'm like,
what is
okay,
he going to
those
do?
are-
Drag it back up
Those
there?
are one-time use, I guess.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of work making these skin gliders. Yep, they're one and done.
True.
You know what was cool though is all of these items that they just happen to have and they just work for the very next scene. So they get all these items right from the fortune teller, the village or whatever, and then they use them in like succession in the very next scenes. They just happen to stumble across a pond that Mace happens to get trapped in because of the magic, and then the magic stick gets him out, and then it's just like this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. I think what movie was it that we were
And
talking about?
then,
We're like,
and
and then. What What movie was that we were just talking about?
I can't remember, dude.
It was one of those
It's a bad
stupid-
Marvel movie.
Was it Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, I think it was
Dark Phoenix. We're just like, this
Yeah.
happens, then this happens. There's no like, oh, and then they can't do it because they don't have a like. I don't know. They just always have the stuff to do exactly what they. One scene that comes to mind in this movie is they're saving the parents from the cage, right?
The Gorax.
The Gorax cage, and they there's this big Gorax axe which is like 50 feet long or whatever, and they're gonna use it as like a sling, like a launcher. So Mace gets on one side, and then these other Ewoks are up on top of the cave, and
Catapult.
the catapult. Yeah, they jump off
Seesaw.
and they land on it, and he flies up there. Mace flies through the air and lands up on the thing.
On a cage.
On the cage, which
Hanging.
is very open. Like they could have just gotten down, right? They could have just. Anyway, so Mace is up there. It's obviously a stunt double because his arm's all hairy, and he gets up in there, and then all of a sudden he has a rope. I did one of these. I went, eek, 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 eek. Huh? And I rewound it, and I was like, where did this rope come from? If they had the rope, like if the parents already had the rope in that prison cell, wouldn't they have just gotten down? So
Yeah.
I rewound it,
I thought
and I
the
was like,
same
all
thing,
right,
yeah.
does Mace have this rope before he is launched up? And no, he does
does
not have
not.
this rope.
Yep.
The parents had the rope.
So the
but
parents had the rope, and they
figured
just didn't have the
there's
courage.
no reason to get down.
They didn't have the courage.
They didn't have the courage.
'Cause
They
that
needed
was
a
with the
caravan to
caravan.
They
come.
needed the caravan to bring
Okay,
the
wait a
courage.
minute. I might need to reassess. Here. All right.
Guys, were you getting Fellowship vibes from this movie
Yeah.
on their track?
Yeah, it felt like if
And
you,
then I
if
got-
you had the extended edition of Fellowship, but you took out the stuff that was in the original cut, and then
Wait a minute.
like it was just the extended parts, so it's just like them walking
But
around.
then you run it through a strainer and take out all the good elements.
yeah,
And then you're like, what if we threw a bunch of fireflies in here?
yeah.
Tinkerbell, bro.
Little Tinkerbells.
Why was Tinkerbell?
Dude,
in
those
this?
are canon. Those are in other stuff. What are they called again? They're called
They're in other stuff,
other Star Wars media. These are originally from here.
but they're in other Star Wars media. you're saying.
Yes, yes.
You would not
Really?
believe your eyes, though.
No, I don't.
If 10
I've never
million
heard this before.
Fireflies lit up the world.
fairies, they call
As
them.
these Ewoks do, they fall asleep.
While Micah looks it up, we're going to talk about the lightsaber. Oh,
Wisties. They're called
can't,
Wisties.
Can't do that. No lightsaber
battle.
fight in the Ewok adventure. You
So
know what
I
they
think-
do have though,
I think we still have to.
They have an
enter this in.
intense scene.
where two Ewoks just absolutely destroy each other.
That was so good.
I do remember that part.
Ewok brawl.
They appear in Battlefront 2 on Endor. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh! So that's what those things are.
Yeah.
That suit. Oh my! So that's an Ewok hunt,
That
guys.
The whole world is coming
First
together.
appearance
It's all
in
coming
Caravan of
together.
Courage, Ewok Adventure. It's in the Ewok show.
They use that in the Battlefront 2 Ewok thing
yeah.
as a weapon. It disorients the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Dude, no way. That's really cool. I
That's
knew
cool.
it, but I didn't even know it.
Look at that.
Wow, just another great thing that the Ewok
Look
adventure
at what
is
this
given.
movie's given us, guys.
Wow, man.
Also, they're in Willow, but that's not Star Wars.
They're in
They-
Willow.
They just reuse the exact same idea.
a
for
lot
Willow.
of people say that Willow is kind of a part of the Star Wars universe.
Is it an Ewok 3? This movie was actually interesting. It was very far removed from Star Wars, I feel. Besides there being
This isn't
Ewoks.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
man.
besides there being Ewoks, I mean, it's still George Lucas.
I
It's
know.
still Star Wars. It's
But-
on Endor.
he like the holiday special isn't Star Wars. This is
It's
not
like
Star
Rogue
Wars.
One because it doesn't have an opening crawl.
Just like Rogue One.
So basically, Rogue One is the sequel to Ewok Adventure.
Agreed.
Wow.
Yeah, you're dead right.
Yeah,
But
we
this
are-
is the sequel to the holiday special, which initially this was going to be another holiday special.
Yeah, it was originally called the Ewok Holiday Special.
And they were going to do it every year. They were going to have a TV special every year.
And they got two of them out.
They got two of them out, and then they said, "Whoa."
You know what's weird though is they this movie canonically takes place in Legends between 5 and 6. All right, but Wicket learns some English in this movie.
So
but says nothing in
why-
Return of the Jedi
Why doesn't he talk to Leia?
for
He's-
plot convenience.
No, he's stealth, guys. He's a stealth agent.
Oh.
He knows what Leia's saying.
Okay.
Come
Mm.
on. Wicket's a smart guy. His eyes show you that.
All right, so before I watched this movie, I wanted to watch Return of the Ewok. It's this little movie that it's like 25 minutes long. It's an official, it was made by the Star Wars people, but it was mostly made for Warwick Davis so that he can wear his Ewok suit around and reenact this fictionalized retelling of how he got the part as Wicket. So he's like walking around to all these producers and is like, "Hey, could I get a job?" And then he tries on these different outfits. He's like, "Oh, I'm Boba Fett now. Oh, now I'm gonna try on the Ewok outfit." And then he puts on the Ewok outfit, and then he just like does stuff. Like he just walks around on set to these different he's in Jabba's palace, and then he's on Endor, and then he's like doing behind the scenes stuff, like destroying stormtroopers, and is like the reason why these things happened in the movie. And Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, they're all like actors in the beginning, and then at the end they're the Star Wars characters, or maybe they're like the actors on the set, like but in real life. I don't know. It's
very meta.
Yeah, it was kind of meta. It was an interesting watch, kind of boring.
Was it better than the Ewok adventure?
It was way shorter, which made it worth it.
So yes.
Yeah.
It was way short. I could see myself enjoying this if it was 30 minutes.
Yeah, if this were like
Not
maybe even
enjoying it,
45
but, like,
minutes, if they cut this down to like,
Palatable. Like
oh, okay.
that's what I
your
was
thoughts
doing
are.
the whole time.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to.
I woke up and then I was like, all right, Saturday morning, I'm watching the movie.
First thing you got to do.
I played it on my phone.
Did
and
you
I
watch it
was
with Sam?
like, oh,
No, she didn't want to.
she wanted no part of it. She doesn't like the Ewoks even more than I do, and she was like, "Oh, you're watching 2 Ewok movies? Well, I'll come when the Phantom Menace."
Rebecca
is on,
likes the Ewoks, and she still didn't want to make time for this.
Well, I don't blame them. If you aren't watching this for a podcast, or like you are so into Star Wars and you just haven't watched this that you need to do it for completion's sake, it's not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth your time. I really don't.
Not even
Do you
for
guys
this
disagree?
Harrison Ford sound alike.
Harrison Ford sounded like talk about Luke. I mean,
Yeah,
this
this
kid
kid's just
kid
Luke.
was cast because he looks like Luke Skywalker.
Sure.
Because he looks like Mark Hamill. I'm serious. He was even mistaken for Mark Hamill on set.
No, he wasn't.
Dude,
How?
look it up, bro.
He doesn't look that much like Mark Hamill.
Enough. He's got the
No
he's got
way.
the crappy haircut.
The dad is in one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
He's in I'm Thinking of Ending Things as like the janitor at the end.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy. He's in The Minority Report. He's in While We Were Young. That's a good movie.
He's in good stuff, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any of this other stuff, but
And he's in Caravan of Courage.
and he's in Caravan of Courage.
Don't
That's how
forget
he
about
started
that.
it off. Crazy.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say about this movie before we get into favorite character, favorite scene? I've said everything.
The only reasons
I
why a
don't
lot
like
of this are
movie at
good
all.
is because George Lucas just had the resources available to him at like right there. So I think that's the only reason why this has any standing at all. If this were like from the ground up built, this wouldn't have been anywhere watchable as it was.
And also, this is like one of the things that, I mean, we've scrolled Disney Plus before and we just look at like the holy cow. Look at all this backlog of crap that Disney just put out
Yeah.
and people forgot about. This is what it would be if it didn't have Star Wars' name attached to it. It just would.
You act like you watched this early this morning.
It was late last night. It's the same thing, Micah.
Early this morning.
It cut
whatever.
into my day. It
This
cut into my
morning.
sleep.
Anyway,
Ethan,
do you want to get into?
do you have a favorite character, Ethan?
Oh
All
man,
right. So our team of heroes.
do you want me to pull them up so you have some names?
Yeah,
So then you just want to like pick a name.
That would be awesome.
Not
Our-
that you need to remember
our
what their
team
names
of
are.
heroes are on a trek through
They're on a
the
caravan.
wilderness. They're on a caravan going to a place.
All right, you don't have to
And
delay anymore.
our characters are weirdly interrupted by a tree falling on their path.
Oh, okay.
And we meet the single greatest. We meet Chukatrak.
I think you got
Chukatrak?
that right.
Chukatrak?
Dang it, bro.
We meet him, and he is instantly iconic because he has an axe, and he cut down a tree, and that is what qualified him to be in the caravan because he almost killed the caravan.
No, he was qualified because he
legitimately
threw the axe. Remember
Took
that?
him down.
Right. And then he chucked an axe in glorious fashion.
Hmm.
That was enough. That was enough. That's my favorite character, Chukatrak.
Chukatrak.
Nice.
Chukatrak,
Okay.
the Ewok.
Micah, do you have a favorite character?
My favorite character. Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna go with Cindel, just
So many to
because
choose
she's
from.
kind of nostalgic to me. Just this is the only character I remember from my childhood watching this. I watched it in like middle school, so it wasn't like super childhood or whatever. But just I remember her being annoying, so that's why she's my favorite. Is because she almost dies, so it was cool.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm going with the black Ewok, Logray, the
Oh, yeah?
wizard who gives him the crystal. Because I had his Lego minifigure when I was younger.
You serious? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Dude, Warwick Davis was 14 when this was filmed.
14,
Good
bro.
for him.
Yeah, he was 13 in the short I was telling you about.
Wow. Huh.
And was he also
So
13
he was
maybe?
in Return of the Jedi, though,
He
right?
died, right?
Warwick Davis?
Yeah.
No.
No, he's still alive.
Pretty sure
Okay, that's
this
good.
dude's still alive.
Yeah. See, he was born in 70. So he
Wasn't
was
he-
like 14.
He
here.
was just in
Yeah,
the new
bro.
Willow show. That
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he died
Oh
after
my
that. I
goodness.
guess not. Awesome. Yeah. Willow, what a great show that you cannot watch anymore.
Yeah.
It's not great. I
Isn't
don't know.
that weird though? But you should be able to watch it.
Mm.
Like
Regardless of how good it was,
Right.
you know, people worked on that.
Wicket's
Warwick
last
Davis
name
worked
is
on that.
Warwick now? That's great.
Wicket was in Rise of Skywalker?
at the end, dude.
There's no way. Guys.
Do you remember?
No.
It's the two Ewoks standing there as the.
I do remember that.
He is going to be in
I
Solo.
don't
Anyway,
remember why they're standing there.
let's talk about this movie
You
again.
got to take Mace though.
Me?
Yeah, come on.
I'm not taking
Take
Mace.
Mace.
Mace
Mace
was
is
one of my least
iconic.
favorite parts of the movie.
Mace is awesome.
Oh.
No, I'm taking low grade.
Mace killed me.
Mace is a
Mace-
wild one.
Mace is so
I'll
funny.
be mom and dad now. Ethan, do you have a favorite scene in this movie?
Ooh. Let's go Mace. Which scene with Mace do I like?
Here, let me pull up all the scenes so you can remember what they are.
Yeah, let me do that.
do a quick just put the movie on 3 times speed. We'll pause
No,
it at a
I'm
random
good.
spot. I'll call that.
Is this him right here, John Cordy?
This is
I
John
think
Cordy.
John Cordy plays
Directed
Mace.
nothing. Oh, no. This is the director.
The director. Oh, guys, we're a mess.
You're a
It's like this
mess.
movie.
I'm just scrolling around
You're
here.
distracting
Eric
us.
Walker, bro.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Great
Favorite
film.
scene is when Mace is looking for the special juice. What do they call it? The special potion?
The fluid or something.
Yeah, there we
Mystical
go. Special
of-
fluid. He's looking for the special fluid in the tree. He sticks his hand in a tree, and a slug creature
Oh,
comes out and grabs his arm and pulls him into the tree. The facial expressions we get from him in that scene made me laugh.
That's a
Mace.
good one, man.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Mhm.
Joe Johnston, yeah, man.
no way. Guys, he did the...
He did, yes.
He did Rocketeer.
That's the guy.
Joe Johnston, man.
Is that who? Go back.
He's all over this
Who is
movie.
this?
This is the,
And he is the
production designer or something.
He also directed Captain
Joe
America: The
Johnston.
First Avenger.
Yeah, he was visual effects for Raiders,
And he
director
was
of The
Peak.
Rocketeer, director for Jurassic Park 3,
Guys, you get your start somewhere.
Boo.
He directed the original Jumanji too.
Pagemaster, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Man, he had a career.
He does have a filmography.
Peter Bernstein, the soundtrack dude. I don't know. He did a couple of things. Ghostbusters, Wild Wild West, The Adam Project, Blues Brothers 2000. So, he did a couple of things.
Mikey, do you have a favorite scene?
No.
You can say no.
I liked...
You're allowed to say no.
I liked how that one was scared on the spider web, and then the spider fell. I
That's a
liked
good
how
one. Yeah.
I liked all the shots of where they would just fall into the ravine. So the spider falls into the ravine. It's just like,
Bro, the Gorax falls.
and then when
into
the Gorax
ravine,
falls, he goes, ah, and then
and
he
then
falls
he
a
comes
second
back,
time.
bro. Wow,
Amazing. Can you guys tell that we love this movie?
we love it. It's so good. You can tell the passion. The matte paintings when they're the epic Lord of the Rings wide shots. That's my favorite scene.
Can we also take
Look at that.
Matt Paintings
Holy
as
cow.
our favorite character?
The
Yeah.
the art direction designer or whatever. She was the production designer for Ratatouille, Coco, Monsters Inc., Hook. Without this movie, we wouldn't have, like all the Pixar
We
movies.
would have gotten Cars 2.
Dang.
Guys, I secretly love Cars 2. Not secretly.
Are we
I'm
doing
sure
Pixar
I would,
marathon?
I would
next?
love Cars 2 after watching this.
Yeah, you'd love. Yeah.
Spaceship designs. Bill George. He just took a.
We already did
speedster.
awards.
We already did awards.
Box office is none.
Nothing. There
'Cause
was
it was-
nothing.
Was released over in Europe,
Yep.
correct?
Yep. There were no
So it-
box office numbers released for it though.
That's why we're reviewing it, because it was released in theaters over across the seas,
Mhm.
across the pond.
Somewhere
But
beyond the sea.
guys, what does the internet have to
Ouch.
say?
So Rotten Tomatoes critic gave it a 23%. Rotten
Ooh.
Tomatoes user gave it a 43%. Metacritic. Letterboxd gave it a 48%. IMDb gave it a 53%. And then the average was 42%.
Ooh.
So yeah, no Metacritic score. You heard that right.
What?
Your headphones did not cut out there.
You didn't hear it.
Just
you-
our brains cut out.
There was
right?
nothing.
Yeah.
So 42%. That's a 4.2 out of 10, guys.
Better than the holiday special.
Yes, almost double the score of the holiday special,
Yeah,
which is kind of hard to do
that's wild. Yeah.
for this kind of movie.
But
Which interesting. Next
Wow.
week's
Hi.
the average is a little higher, as Han said, or as Lando says, a little higher.
dude,
But
I'm so
the
excited.
saddest part about this movie
Is that we have to rate it?
is not only, we have to rate it, but Hollywood Reporter didn't rank this,
Nothing.
and the infamous Micah Het
what?
Even though I watched
List
this, I never
didn't
ranked it.
Rank it.
what?
So we have no official numbers, which means
No.
we have to
We make the
solidify
call
this
here
That's right, folks.
in our ranking. But Micah,
for the first
I
time in
just
history.
want you to go ahead and enter me and Ben's score for the holiday special.
Okay.
Yes.
Which,
Yes.
Ben, what did we give that?
0.5. Both of us
Okay.
gave it a 0.5.
0.5. And we will
My
be,
my score will be in
Micah's
there
score
soon.
will be tentative. We'll get that in there. But a big shift from... okay, let's throw this one on.
Yeah, Ethan, come on. Start us off here. What's it going to be, man?
This is a 2.
Oh, okay.
Only it's not a 1 because there were a few elements I enjoyed. Mace, I thought, was stupid and fun, and Ewoks. I like the Ewoks from the film, so I saw more Ewoks, and that's all I have to say. I think a 2 is very, very generous, but I want to give it a 2. Yep.
Okay.
2 out of 10.
Micah?
Well, personally, I didn't find this movie as offensive as you guys did. I think that there was some value to it, but not worth like any second watch at all. It was barely worth the first watch, but I don't find it was offensive. I feel like as a piece of Star Wars history, this does hold up as you know, a piece of its time. As you said, your father-in-law watched this movie. He
That's
liked
true.
it. A lot of people liked this movie growing up, and maybe for a kid's movie, this is pretty great. I don't know. I mean, I remember tolerating it when I was little, so maybe by little, middle schooler, sure. But the set design is beautiful. The props and you know, art department, it's great. Score was pretty passable for me. I mean, I'm fine with it. So I'm going to have to agree with the internet on this one and give it exactly a 4.2.
A 4.2.
I think it was all right. Like, I would totally put this on for my kids. I don't have kids, but if I did,
I'm throwing this on, man.
I mean, sure, why not? If you've watched the other Star Wars movies,
If you watched every other piece of content out there,
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It's
not?
one of 3 Star Wars Legends movies. One of them not even canon in Legends with the holiday special. So, like Caravan of Courage and Ewoks: The Battle of Endor, those are our only 2 Legends full feature length movies.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
So 4.2 range. Sure, why not?
Why not, man?
And we'll see. I mean, I'm keeping my eyes open for if Battle of Endor is any good. It won't be, but I'm keeping my hopes up.
So I'm giving this movie a 1
Ouch.
for
Oh, I heard a 4.
14. Dude, the matte paintings are good, but I wanted to blow my brains out while I was watching this.
Dang, Ben.
I
Yeah, this
really-
movie gives him
we
suicidal
have
thoughts.
to address this after the podcast,
Bro.
Ben, because you have said 2 very dark things, and us as your
Man, this movie makes me want to slip my wrist. And just,
you know,
jeez, Ben.
Ben, we're podcasting together, but we're also your friends.
Yeah,
So you need to talk about something, Ben.
Why do you think I'm here? We're talking about this, guys. We got to get our feelings out.
Guys, this is our therapy.
It really, I
wouldn't be
matte
alive
paintings
enough
are
for this
good,
podcast.
and I was amused by the creature designs, and that was it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. I would never rewatch this movie. I didn't want to watch it to begin with. I really didn't. I got to be honest with you guys. I said, how can I fit this into my schedule in the least annoying amount of time?
That's how I am every week.
I think this week,
Well,
going into this week, I'm going to strategically place watching the Battle of Endor, or just watch 10, 15 minutes whenever I take a dump.
Wow.
And
That's how you should consume all media.
That's actually a pretty good way of doing it.
Note
So you
that.
watch each episode that it was supposed to be. This is probably what the Moana 2 movie is going to be, because they combined a Disney Plus show
Yeah.
into a movie.
Yep.
yeah, but
That's what that's going to be.
it's going to be a little better than this, probably.
It will.
I don't
be.
know. They don't have any of the original voice actors. Lin-Manuel Miranda's not doing the score.
No, The
I'm
Rock is
so-
The Rock is back.
What?
The Rock is back. For
Oh,
it.
he is?
And so
All right,
is
well-
so is what's her face. Moana.
I heard she wasn't.
I heard they weren't.
She hasn't signed on yet.
Yeah,
but
they haven't signed on.
The Rock is there for it.
Okay.
Yeah, as Maui.
I guess I can smell
But
The Rock stepped in.
Much like The Rock in this movie. That makes
oh, connections right there, boys.
Yeah.
So I have a question to you guys. So I have now seen everything except for Star Wars Resistance.
And the Battle of Endor. You've seen Battle of Endor?
After next week, all I will have to consume in Star Wars visual media is Resistance and Ewoks.
How about
The
You've
TV
seen Star
show.
Wars? You've
How
seen the
about
droids?
Jedi
Oh, yeah.
Younglings?
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Boom.
But that's my question.
Do
How
go.
far do I take this to be a completionist as far as Star Wars visual media goes?
Well, I think it's
Is
in
it
the
even
title,
worth
Ben.
it?
It's called a completionist, not a completion almostist. You got to finish it, Ben.
So you got to watch Younglings?
But I would have to watch the 2 seasons of Ewoks that they made.
I mean, fake fan here, guys.
Man.
Come on.
I
do it,
think I
It's
am.
one of the only
man.
Legend shows. Come on, man.
bro.
That's the reason
You're
why.
talking to 2 guys who have seen The Bad Batch in its entirety.
No, I haven't.
Me and Ben.
Oh.
Me and Micah. No, I'm
I
kidding.
watched the entirety of the first 2 episodes.
I watched
Mm.
the up till how
Season
far?
1.
I watched
Season
all of season
1.
1.
And then you watched 3 episodes of season 2.
See, he knows. He
I
knows.
got you, bro. Well,
Yeah.
guys.
You know what,
There
Ben?
you have it.
Yeah. What, Ethan?
Do it.
Coming
Go
in,
for gold.
coming in second to last
Watch
place.
the Ewok film or the Ewok show.
Please don't. No, do not.
Do
This
it.
is a PSA to not watch it.
Do it.
Don't.
I would say
Have you played?
if you have nothing better to do.
Then there's so many. Even then, there's so many other better things to do.
Like what? Watch Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah. As of right now, this has been like I don't know. But
All right,
stay,
hey,
yeah.
What is our score total, and where does it fall on our
Great
ranking?
point.
So Ben with 1, me with a 4.2, Ethan with a 2, gives us a 2.4, which is second to last place if you're including a holiday special.
We
So
are.
4th place.
4th place so far out of the
Exciting.
original trilogy.
As a reminder, for those of you stuck along, so you don't have to rewind to like the other ones, Empire is first place, 9.6. New Hope, 9.4, second place. And third place, Return of the Jedi, 9.07. So there you go.
Next week, we've got a way, way better film.
Oh, yeah.
Guys.
A
I'm
whole
confident.
9 points
As
better.
the scores say.
Yep.
9 points better, apparently.
I'm confident.
But I
all
think
right?
that's just because there was no critic score, which is, I'm surprised there was a critic score to begin with for this one.
Well, this was like the first of its kind, and then they were like, holy crap, we're not doing this again. There is a user score, though.
But you know who's never like, holy crap, we're not doing this again? These guys. Us.
Multiverse model.
On this panel.
I'm glad we had a couple stinkers in this podcast because if it were just all
Whoa.
up in the 7,
on.
8, 9 range,
It would be
would've been
boring.
boring.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had a lower tier. Then we would have had to pick which of the main 9 go in the last place.
Which won't be that hard. But
We'll still have we'll still have a last place, but it'll be in spirit, in the force.
Yeah, what would a marathon be if all the movies were good?
That's true.
That's not a. That's
It would be a Lord of the Rings marathon.
Who wants to watch
That's what it
good
would be.
movies, guys? Come on. Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
Next week, folks, stay tuned for Ewoks, the battle of, I should say the battle for Endor.
Ooh.
Here are 3 guys hoping that it is better than Caravan of Courage.
Speaking of names, real quick, it was kind of difficult to find stuff for this movie because, like, for Caravan of Courage, because some places it's called the Ewok Adventure, some places it's called Caravan of Courage, some places it's called a Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure. They couldn't figure out what it was called.
Micah wrote his Letterboxd review for the wrong movie.
Yeah, I accidentally wrote it for the Battle of Endor because I just looked up Ewoks and then
Spoilers for next week, dude.
Yeah, geez.
What the heck?
I was wondering if one of us would mistakenly watch the wrong Ewok film.
Yeah.
I thought
I almost did. I stopped it and I was like, all right, before I get into this,
Right, I got him.
is this the right one? And then I
Yep.
like double checked everything. Yep, Caravan of Courage. That's what we're doing. Cool.
I will say, the one positive thing, I'm glad I watched it. Just to say that I watched it.
There you go. To check off the box.
Check off the box, folks.
check off the box.
Chekhov's props. Chekhov's gun was every single thing in this movie.
That's right. So, we here at Multiverse Monologues, thank you guys for listening along.
For this
Yeah.
little filler episode.
Don't complain with the short length of this one. We have been giving you guys
Content.
generous,
Yep.
lengthy episodes.
We
So this one,
needed some anorexic.
this one's
ones.
allowed to be a little shorter
Not much
because
content.
we actually we didn't even celebrate it, guys. But our A New Hope podcast was our first podcast to be longer than the actual film we were talking about.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you want to hear guys talk for longer than
No,
it takes,
Spider-Man 1 was longer.
Spider-Man 1 wasn't
Really?
longer. This beat that. Spider-Man 1 was like as I'm rubbing my eye. Spider-Man 1 was an hour 49 and A New Hope podcast was 202 with a runtime with the actual movie being 201.
Wow.
So we just beat
We
it.
edged it out.
Yeah.
Nice one, folks. Really good stuff, guys. Well, for now, on the Star Wars movie marathon, this is Ben Rayside.
This is Ethan.
This is Micah.
And remember,
No last name. So.
Don't watch this movie.
Yeah.